yes. Gang, 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 gang. Ooh, got me feeling like a cowgirl. Let me write it. You see how that's strange, right? Hey guys, what's up? It's Emergency and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are here to talk about something that I've been seeing on TikTok for the past week, honestly, that is equal parts confusing as it is disturbing. And that is the NPC trend that is going on TikTok. And if you do not know what I'm talking about and you are lucky enough to have not been on the internet for the past week or two, we're gonna talk about it. You're in for a lot because we're gonna figure out where this trend actually came from, get into why it exists and why everyone is doing it and seemingly making tons and tons of money from it. Because honestly, I'm just as confused as the rest of you, and I feel like this trend is not necessarily a good thing, but let's talk about it. But before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video, if you are new to the channel and like all things pop culture, commentary, TV show review, although we are taking a little pause on the frequency of TV show reviews right now because of these strikes that are going on, you should 100% subscribe because I do all of that around here and we have a good time. Also, I gotta leave a like on this video because it helps out so much with YouTube algorithm, and you can follow me on my socials here at imuRgency on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and Threads actually. Y'all on Threads? Are y'all really on Threads like that? But self-promo aside, let's talk about this NPC trend. So if you have not seen or heard about this NPC trend that's going on TikTok or what that actually means, it's basically this trend that was popularized by this creator on TikTok called pinkydoll, which I think she goes on live and reacts like an NPC in a video game would to different TikTok donations over and over and over again. And she's popularized a lot of different sayings and mannerisms that coincide with a lot of the different gifts that TikTok has. Like, for example, some of the ones I was doing in the beginning of the video and that you've seen in the beginning of the video are like her yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Or like gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
And again, my personal favorite is the one where she gets like a cowboy hat and mustache and she goes, ooh, got me feeling like a cowgirl, let me write it.
Hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl. Let me write it, huh?
Just because it's so unserious. And I remember this initially blowing up on Twitter with people reacting to her live streams, like clips of her live streams. And initially, you know how Twitter is, it started off with a bunch of hate and the people being like, yo, what is she doing, you know? Because it's strange, it's very cartoonish, it's very uncanny valley, in which it's like a real person that's trying to mimic a robot or move in a robotic or non-humanistic way. But then interestingly, I saw the narrative change really quick as soon as people caught on that like she was reacting to TikTok gifts, and those gifts actually translated to money. And apparently pinkydoll had been raking in a lot of money from these streams. So the narrative switched really quick to being like, wait, props to my sister for making her money. I can never knock someone's hustle. Let me hop on this trend as well. And that's where things have gotten a little wild, if you will. But before we get into that, let's get into pinkydoll for a second, because I feel like pinkydoll is one of those people that has just become a phenomenon all of a sudden, and I know next to nothing about her except for the fact that, you know, she's hitting her yes, yes, yeses. Ooh, ice cream so good. Like, so let's do a little research together, shall we? Okay, so according to this Mashable article, pinkydoll is a 27-year-old Montreal resident whose real name is Feta Sinon. And she initially started streaming on TikTok as a way to make money, okay? And oh my god, pinkydoll reportedly makes anything from around $2,000 to $3,000 per stream. $2,000 to $3,000 per stream is wild, and she streams every single day, so that's about $2,000 to $3,000 per day. She has tens of thousands of people on her stream, so I'm sure that she's grown since this article has been published, meaning that more people are probably gifting and she's making more money per day, which is crazy to think about. The more popular ones that we see her react to, like roses and ice cream, are only 1 coin each, so that's about 1 cent. But some gifts can go up to 30,000 coins, which comes out to about $300, which is insane. pinkydoll really is the blueprint, because once word got out that she's been making this much money, it has exploded on TikTok. And everyone is trying to get their NPC bag on TikTok, and it's honestly, we live in a society that no longer values shame. Shame and a digital footprint are no longer things that have value or currency in this modern world, because the way that you can just scroll down the TikTok live page and just see a bunch of people not really having much originality, just doing the exact same thing as pinkydoll and making so much money. And again, can't knock the hustle, but it's just wild how fast this is taken off. This reminds me a lot of like the early OF days, if you remember, when initially like 1 or 2 people were really blowing up and making a lot of money from that website, and then everyone and their mom decided to hop on the train and make one, because everyone was hearing that it was making people a lot of money really fast. Because to me, it really is giving that, because everyone is hopping on this trend to make a really quick bag. Like, you have people dressing up in Spider-Man costume.
Ha! Thanks for the rub. Ha! Thanks for the rub.
People doing the NPC trend with a whole TV on their head.
Thank you.
for the gifts.
And then of course you have like the regular Pinky Doll clones.
Yeehaw! Yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl. Let me ride it.
But let's talk about why this trend is so strange and feels so uncomfortable to watch sometimes. Besides the inherent cringe factor, I think one of the main reasons why this has gained so much traction is because it kind of plays into the whole uncanny valley phenomenon. And if you're unfamiliar with what the uncanny valley is, it's basically the relation between an object's degree of resemblance to a human being and the emotional response to the object. Basically things that kind of resemble human and human behavior but aren't quite there. The concept of the uncanny valley phenomenon is what kind of makes you feel icky or uncomfortable with like things like those robots or AI that kind of look human or are made to be like humanoid but aren't quite human. When you're looking at media or content that falls within that uncanny valley, it feels like something's not quite right. And it's hard to put your finger on it. In the extremes, it kind of feels kind of scary and a little off-putting. But in the case of the NPC TikTok trend, I feel like it's more so just attention grabbing, being like, oh wow, this is strange. There's something about this that doesn't sit right, doesn't feel necessarily normal, isn't necessarily scary, but it's definitely not normal human behavior. And I saw this really great TikTok by the creator Coco Moco that kind of talks about this exact sort of thing in relation to the TikTok trend.
Where I think the fascination comes in, a lot of news articles that I read are saying it's just like this robotic, repetitive thing. But I think what people are really subconsciously fascinated by is this idea of uncanny valley. We hear conversations around how unsettling it will be for us as a society when robots learn how to mimic human behaviors and emotions. But something that no one prepared us for is how we will react and feel unsettled by humans mimicking robotic motions and behaviors.
And I found her point about like the reversal of not necessarily of robots becoming more like humans, but humans trying to mimic the actions and behaviors of robots so interesting, because like she said, usually it's the opposite. And the fact that we're seeing this now and in such great abundance online is honestly wild. I've also been seeing people talk about some of the possible downsides and dark sides of this trend, being that the whole concept of the trend does revolve around, how do I say this without being demonetized? Adult interests around control, as viewers can essentially control the creator's actions by giving gifts and donations, which can please certain types of viewers. I honestly don't know too much about that and don't want to get too far into that. And I don't want to be talking about something that serious when I don't know all the information on it. But I've been seeing some discourse about that and thought it'd be interesting to mention, especially since this trend is so popular and branching out into communities it normally wouldn't have. But overall, I feel like this trend is just an example of the internet being strange and obsessing over things for like weeks at a time. I don't foresee this trend lasting very long monetarily and trend and internet culture wise, because as of recently, TikTok Live has been popping and has been creating stars of its own like Psychonic or Terry Joe and now Pinky Doll, so it's really interesting to see how things develop and move forward in the future. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this NPC TikTok trend? Do you think it's going to stick around for a lot? Have you considered doing your own and making your own little coins? Or do you hate this trend and think it should be ended immediately? I want to hear all of your thoughts down in the comment section down below. As for me, if you see me on TikTok Live doing my little 1-2, yes, gang gang, gang gang. Ooh, got me feeling like a cowgirl, let me write it. Please check up on me because something might not be okay. Something definitely actually is not okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're new and enjoyed the video, then consider subscribing and leaving a like on this video because it really does help out a lot. And before you head out, socials at imuRgency, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. But other than that, y'all, I've been imuRgency and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.